Welcome to the Shadows of King. Today we're peeling back the layers of one of Stephen King's most unsettling creations, a villain who doesn't age, doesn't truly die, and never keeps the same face for long. Randall Flagg, the man in black, a wanderer between worlds. In this video you'll see why he appears when reality starts to crack, and how he stitches distant stories into one Kingverse. Before we go further, here's a quiet invitation, just for you. If you enjoy deep dives into King's universe, consider subscribing. It helps more people find this kind of content and keeps the project alive. Stay with me, because every layer matters, and the details are where the real horror hides. And tell me in the comments, out of all King's villains, which one haunts you most and why? That answer says a lot about the fear that follows us. Our story doesn't begin with Flagg himself, but with the collapse of civilization. In The Stand, the world doesn't end with explosions or alien invasions. It ends quietly, with a cough, a fever, and an empty road at midnight. A superflu called Captain Trips sweeps the planet and erases more than 99% of humanity. Cities become ghosts, the lights go out, and highways turn into graveyards of abandoned cars. In that new silence, survivors begin to dream, and those dreams feel like invitations, not random nightmares, but messages with direction. In those dreams, two figures appear, pulling people toward opposite destinies. One is a kind old woman named Mother Abigail. The other is the man in black. Flagg doesn't arrive like a classic monster. He looks almost ordinary. Worn jeans, old boots, an easy smile. But his eyes are wrong, flat and black. Stare too long and you feel it, like you're standing before something that should not exist. In the dreams he walks deserted roads, always heading west. He makes a simple, dangerous offer. Absolute freedom. Not community like Mother Abigail, but permission to abandon rules, morality, and empathy. He promises power without responsibility, strength without guilt, and he calls his followers to Las Vegas, where he plans to raise a new society in the desert, organized and bright, but held together by fear. This matters. Flagg isn't pure chaos. He uses order as a weapon and stability as bait. It's control with a smile. In Las Vegas, power returns, water runs, and buildings function, but any deviation is punished in public. Crucifixions become spectacle. Terror becomes an administrative method. That's how Flagg builds not just a city, but a cult with himself at the center, watching everything. One of the first to fall under his influence is Lloyd Henreid. When the world ends, Lloyd is trapped in a dark cell, starving and dehydrated, sliding toward madness. In that final fragility, Flagg appears. Not in a dream, but physically. He opens the cell without a key, as if the laws of reality bend around him. He offers food, water, freedom, and importance. In return, he asks for one thing: total loyalty. Lloyd accepts without hesitation, not because he's a mastermind, but because he's desperate. That detail is the point. Flagg doesn't recruit monsters, he recruits broken people, the kind who only need someone to show up at the worst moment and whisper, "I can save you." If that dynamic already clicks, drop a comment with the words "man in black." It signals you're tracking the pattern, and it helps this video reach the right people. Because from here, Flagg's role expands far beyond the apocalypse. He doesn't belong only to The Stand. When Las Vegas is wiped out in a nuclear blast, it isn't an ending, it's a transition. His essence slips across dimensions and reappears in another world, Midworld, where reality feels tired and time has lost its direction. In Midworld, Flagg wears other names: Martin Broadcloak, Walter O'Dim. Here he doesn't build cities, he ruins destinies. His main target isn't an empire, it's a boy, Roland Deschain, the future last gunslinger. Flagg slips into Gilead as a court advisor and poisons everything from the inside. His method is never loud. He studies virtues and weaknesses, honor, pride, love, impatience, and then presses each one at exactly the right moment, until good people make bad choices and call it fate. He forces Roland to face his trial too early, ripping away childhood and forging an obsession that will follow him for life. It's not just cruelty, it's psychological engineering. When Gilead falls, it isn't merely politics. It's the collapse of an entire world, and Roland survives to carry that ruin. From there, the pursuit begins across the desert. The man in black always ahead, always provoking, always guiding. The chase turns ritualistic, like Flagg is shaping Roland into a weapon. In their eventual encounter, Flagg drops revelations about the Dark Tower, the multiverse, and the Crimson King. But the truths aren't gifts, they're blades. He uses knowledge like poison, trying to convince Roland that everything is pointless, that the world is doomed, and that resistance doesn't matter. Flagg's goal isn't only to defeat you, it's to make you stop believing your choices have weight. And once meaning collapses, corruption feels effortless. That pattern repeats everywhere. Randall Flagg doesn't just destroy external structures, he tries to break the internal ones: hope, purpose, faith. He's a preacher of nihilism, the kind who says that if nothing matters, then anything can be twisted without guilt. In the kingdom of Delane, he returns as a court magician and topples a royal family without raising a sword, only by feeding jealousy, lies, and tiny choices. Every time he finds the right crack and presses until it becomes an abyss. Something links all these versions. The initials keep repeating: RF, Richard Randall, Raymond Russell. It's like Flagg leaves an invisible signature, a quiet warning for anyone who can see past the surface. And here's the key point. He isn't just a recurring villain, he's a mechanism of chaos inside the Kingverse. He shows up when worlds are unstable, when societies are fragile, and when individuals are emotionally shattered. He doesn't need a throne, he only needs a crack to step through. Flagg is drawn to structural failure, both external and internal. He doesn't need to win every time, he only needs to keep existing. As long as people are willing to trade freedom for safety, conscience for power, or empathy for hate, there will always be room for the man in black to walk the roads between worlds. That's why he's more terrifying than many classic monsters. He doesn't come from outside reality, he walks inside it. He looks like someone you might actually meet. In the Kingverse, that kind of ordinary is never random, it's a doorway. Picture an empty highway, a forgotten gas station, and a stranger offering simple answers to complex pain. Now the final question: is Randall Flagg merely a servant of the Crimson King? Or is he playing his own game, waiting for the right moment to seize control when the tower trembles? Drop your theory in the comments, and tell me which Kingverse character you want analyzed next, here in the Shadows of King.